Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, March 17th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Texas game in 166 days, the game against Michigan in 257 days. If you're planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle, Columbus's favorite food truck, serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and good vibes. Book your catering today at gratefulgriddleoh.com. This is the official start of spring football at Ohio State. Buckeyes will kick that off with a practice Monday morning at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. We will be there for that and then have interviews after practice. Probably try and have a live show for you as well. Going to be a lot to talk about as the Buckeyes start spring ball 2025. We've been waiting quite a while for that. Finally here, so that definitely something to look forward to. So with that on deck, I have only one more show to do, and before we start spring ball, and that means, well, there was one more new coach that we need to let you hear from before we officially start spring ball, and that is Billy Fessler. He's the new Ohio State quarterbacks coach this year. He's been on the staff before, but not someone we've really gotten to talk to before, and sort of a new face and a new voice for you guys, and I wanted to let you hear from him a little bit before spring ball officially kicked off. So here you go. Here's Billy Fessler, the quarterbacks coach for Ohio State. Last year, he was working under Chip Kelly and Ryan Day. What did Billy Fessler learn and get out of all of that?
You know, on a bunch of different levels, it was a really great opportunity. Going out to work for Coach Kelly at UCLA, and then, he made the decision to come here, and then, between him and Coach Day, just giving me the opportunity to come here and continue to work with them. I've been lucky to work with Coach Day and the offensive staff here in the past, and to get the opportunity to be back in this building was so critical to me. I feel like it's a special place, and once you get a piece of it and you're in it and you feel what it's like to be part of the Woody every single day, to have the opportunity to come back is a no-brainer, and you're kind of always scratching an itch and trying to get back to that position. So first off, just the opportunity to do that was so awesome. And then you walk into that quarterback room, and the guys in the room, it was a special group last year. We're obviously kind of turning the leaf now and moving forward, but just to work with Will and to work with Devin and Lincoln and Julian, and Air when he was here, and just across the board, it was such a good group of guys, and I think that chemistry was a big reason of why we had the success down the stretch. The opportunity to work with Will and to work with a guy like that's a pro, and the way he approached the game and the way he approached it with such great detail, and he always wanted to know more, and he was always trying to dive in and learn more. To me, it was a big part of why he was able to go out and have so much success, because of the way he prepared. So just to answer your question, the opportunity to continue to learn from Coach Day and to work with him, to the opportunity to learn from Coach Kelly and work with him, and then work with the group of guys that I got to work with last year was a pretty special thing for me.
The quarterback position is definitely going to be one that people are watching very closely all spring. So is there any kind of a pecking order heading into the spring in terms of Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz and Tavien St. Clair? Is there any kind of an order in Billy Fessler's mind heading into the spring?
Yeah, no, we do not. To be honest with you, Coach Day and I will sit down along with Coach Hartline and have those conversations. But the reality is we're going to let those guys compete, and we're going to let those guys go have equal opportunities. We are really far away from the start of fall camp and getting into the season. So more than anything, I'm just excited to watch them compete. I'm excited to watch them grow. Last year, both Lincoln, Julian, and then Tavien at the end of the year had the opportunity to see what it looks like, and to watch Will and watch how he operated and to learn from him, and at the same time prepare to the level that, if something were to happen, they're ready to go in the game and go execute. So now to step into a role where they're competing for the job, is a little bit of a different deal. So I'm excited to see them compete more than anything.
How about his initial impressions of those three guys? Lincoln Kienholz, Julian Sayin, Tavien St. Clair. What has Billy Fessler seen from those guys so far?
Start with Lincoln, a guy that's going into his third year here. And I think really, when you've been in an offense for 2 years already and you're going into that third year, you've got a really good feel of the scheme. You've got a better feel of college defenses and, where our schemes are susceptible and where the issues lie and what we're trying to attack. And so I think, that's something that over time I can feel Lincoln getting a better and better feel for it. Lincoln has definitely stepped up from a leadership perspective, and you could see the way that, he attacks workouts, and, this winter is so big for all three of them, just really to set the standard and to understand the intangibles that playing quarterback is all about, right? Because there's so much more than just picking up a football and throwing it when it comes to succeeding on Saturdays. So I've seen that growth from Lincoln, and that's really exciting. As for Julian, last year, going into the year, he was competing for a job and, ended up not winning the job. And, he could have turned it down and been bummed out and, not attacked it the right way. But I saw him continue to grow throughout the year. I saw him to learn from Will and to get to a point this year where now he can step up and be more of a vocal leader. And that's something that I've seen growth in him as well. He's put on some weight and he looks good, and he's definitely attacked his time in the winter, and so that's been awesome. And then Tavien comes in, and Tavien's really should still be in high school. Instead, he's in my office all the time, learning the offense. And when he's not with me, he's with Coach Mick. And when he's not with Coach Mick or I, he's over there doing academics in Sasso. So his days are pretty jam-packed, and it's definitely new for him. But his commitment to wanting to be great and wanting to be to the level where he can go out and compete in the spring has been really impressive. So I'm excited for all three of them.
Billy Fessler was the assistant quarterbacks coach last year, so now he takes one step forward on the coaching depth chart. So who is he going to be working with now staff-wise as his assistant? And then who are some of the big influences in his career in terms of how he sees the game?
Yeah, right now, Kienholz in helping me. So Colin was working with me at Akron. He was a student assistant, and he was really, really impressive there. So he's going to come in and he's going to help out with some of the day-to-day stuff. And then, Coach Day and I have built a pretty good relationship where, between my time here as a GA where, I learned the game of football the way he sees it. And that was such a pivotal time in my career. I was so blessed in college and then in my first my first job there that I got to work with Joe Moorhead. And, I learned so much football from that man, and I credit so much of my career to him to put me in the position. But then having the opportunity to, maybe I'm going to see it through a little bit of a different lens and to learn how Coach Day sees it was so big for me in my development. So that couple years as a GA was awesome for me. And then last year to be able to sit in with him and really kind of see the game, in a similar fashion. And I'm always going to continue to learn from him because he's just such a special coach. But to be able to see it, in a similar way and to continue to bounce thoughts off him, to make sure that him and I are communicating it the same way. Coach Day will always be directly involved with the quarterbacks, and now Coach Hartline will as well. As the offensive coordinator, I think as the guy in that chair, you have to have a relationship with the guy that's in the huddle. I think that's really important. So, him and I have already begun conversations just about, how that's going to work out and how, he's going to continue to see the game the same way that the quarterback does and how he's going to communicate to them. Those conversations are already beginning. So it'll definitely be a combination of, us three.
Billy Fessler is going to be a part of making that decision in terms of who's going to be the starting quarterback for Ohio State this fall. So when he's making those evaluations, what are the traits he's looking for in a quarterback?
Yeah, I think it comes in a couple different ways. From a tangible perspective, I think that you've got to be extremely accurate. I think you have to be able to make great decisions with the football and get the ball out on time. And I think that you have to be able to at least solve a problem with your feet. So it's rare in college football that every protection's blocked up perfectly or everything goes the exact way that we drew it up on the whiteboard. So when things break down, the ability to fix it with our legs. And then, as far as intangibles go, I look at a guy like Will who had those intangibles about as well as I've ever seen. And that's just complete command and understanding of both the offense and the huddle, to know exactly what we're trying to do on every single play, know what we're trying to attack, understand where the issues are and where they lie and how you're going to combat those issues. To be able to understand when it's time to move on, throw the ball away, move on to the next play, and then also to be mentally tough enough that when things don't go our way, to be able to react the right way and move on to the next play.
Well, those young quarterbacks are definitely going to be one of the very hot topics today as we open spring practice, getting a chance to see the Buckeyes open spring ball inside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. That'll be this morning. We'll have coverage, we'll have video of all that kind of stuff for you at youtube.com/Buckeye Huddle, and lots to talk about at BuckeyeHuddle.com. That's where Tony, Kevin, and I cover the team. Mark covers recruiting. We got our whole team of X's and O's gurus there as well, all to make you a smarter football fan, and all at BuckeyeHuddle.com. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.